Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining us on Talkin' Fight, where we discuss the news of the day, courtesy of our friends over at boxing247.com across the pond. And let's start off with some headlines. Here we go. It's interesting to note that the great talents among Canastota Boxing Hall of Fame in this year's candidates for induction to the Canastota Boxing Hall of Fame in the modern category include Miguel Cotto, Chris John, Diego Chico Corrales, Ricky Hatton, Joel Casimir, Ivan Calderon, Antonio Tarver, Meldrick Taylor, Chris Eubank, Rafael Marquez, Miguel Happy Lora, Leo Torito Gamas, Acelino Freitas, Carl Froch, Vinny Paz, Wilfredo Vasquez, Roy Jones Jr., Timothy Bradley, Yorgo Arce, among others. So, the nominees in this category are boxers who fought in 1989 or later. And the amount of talent present in the ballot of 42 names published by the institution, in which the authorized voters will only be able to choose 5 of them, is very striking. And finally, there'll only be 3 on the list. So good luck to all those fighters, and hopefully they'll get inducted into the Canastota Boxing Hall of Fame. In other news, amateur stars in action. Figueroa returns. Felix Perilla making his pro debut, screams the headline. New Haven, Connecticut super middleweight Elvis Figueroa and pro debuting Felix Perilla, a pair of former USA amateur stars, will be in action on October 22nd. In the first professional boxing show ever held in Framingham, Massachusetts, Fight Night in Framingham, presented by Shearns Boxing Promotions, will benefit Fighting Life at Sheraton Hotel in Framingham, Massachusetts. Fighting Life is an after-school youth boxing program and academic empowerment program available 100% free of charge to students beginning in elementary school through high school education. By the way, Framingham, for those who might not be aware, is a mere 40 miles from Boston, Massachusetts, in the east coast of the United States of America. In news around the world, RDR Promotions scheduled for this Saturday night at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Donald Smith is going toe-to-toe against Elijah Pierce at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. RDO Promotions will be back at the 2300 Arena with a terrific 9-bout card that will take place this Saturday night, October 9th. As we all know, there will be other events happening that night, for example, one in Las Vegas that will have a lot of our attention. Below are a list of events leading up to this great night of boxing, such as last night they had fighters Donald Smith, Elijah Pierce, Raquan Butler, Nakeem Parker, Rashawn Adams, and Isaiah Wise. Well, good luck to these promotions companies who are putting on fights this Saturday night. I know my eyes and ears will be attending Las Vegas. In other news, Oscar Rivas and Ryan Rosicky Bridgerweight title full fight card details have been announced. The inaugural World Boxing Council Bridgerweight World Championship fight, that's under 224 pounds, will take place on October 22nd, promoted by Group Yvonne Group, that's Jim, in collaboration with Three Lions Promotions and a presentation of Mise au Jeu at the Montreal Olympia. As recently announced by the WBC, the number one contender, Oscar Kaboom Rivas, who's 27-1 with 19 knockouts, will face Ryan the Bruiser Rosicky, who's 13-0 with 13 knockouts, to headline the Conquest, it's called, in a 12-round main event for the vacant WBC title. Rosicky is a powerful, undefeated puncher who has won each of his 13 professional fights by knockout. His record includes his win over Sean Miller, who was 18-4-1, 7 knockouts in May 2019 for the WBC International Silver Crown, as well as the defense of the same title in February 2020 against Vladimir Rezhnik, who was 9-2-2 with 4 knockouts. By his uncompromising style, Bruiser became very popular, especially in English-speaking Canada. Quote, Rivas will be my toughest opponent yet, Rosicky explained. It's everything I've dreamed of since I started boxing. Thanks to Yvon Michel and my promotional team for making this possible. On October 22nd, I will become world champion. In front of him stands an opponent who's been waiting for his chance for a long time. Top contender Rivas, who easily disposed of Silveira Luis 8-5, 4 knockouts by retirement after 3 rounds last March. Rivas, of course, was the victim of a very controversial defeat in July 2019 in England to Dillian Whyte, who's 25-1, by way of a 12-round decision, despite having sent him onto mat in the 9th round. Oscar Rivas is in the best shape of his career, according to his trainer, Mark Ramsey. I know Rosicky very well, and he is very dangerous. He reminds me of a big Joe Smith Jr., who, without being the best technician, compensates with enthusiasm, aggressiveness, and determination in the ring. So, there we go. A historic showdown about to take place in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. In other headlines, Ben, not on radar as Florian Marcu eyes world title and returns November 20th. Florian Marcu returns to the Boxer, that's Boxxer, ring on Saturday, November 20th, for a fight at the SSE Arena in Wembley, which will be televised live on Sky Sports. Ahead of that contest, the first 2021 bout of his multi-fight commitment with Boxer, the Albanian King is excited to be back on Sky Sports and has shifted his focus entirely to pursuing a world title. Sky is the best. I've seen Sky since I was a little kid when I was watching big fights in Greece, and now I'm on this platform. Wow. When I think about it, it's like a dream, he says. By the end of next year, I hope to have a major title belt around my waist. I'm thinking about 4 good fights. Away from that, 4 fights with top fighters, good name. Nigel Benn, whose son Conor Benn, doesn't want me anywhere near him, so this is not my target. Newly crowned IBF International Welterweight Champion Marcu quietly went through a prolonged injury layoff earlier this year, needing several months to recover from surgery on both hands in February. However, he stayed focused during the layoff and is now ready to display his explosive power punching style for Sky Sports viewers once again. And we've been talking about the WBA and their world title reduction plan, and it's made important advances. Since the WBA title reduction plan began, an expedited effort has been made in all divisions to make consistent decisions that are aligned with the goal. The first important step was the elimination of the interim titles, which led to a reduction of large number of championships and gave these fighters the opportunity to become mandatory challengers to several of the champions. Additionally, the WBA has issued resolutions in several divisions after an exhaustive review that intends to be as fair as possible while cleaning up each of its weights. The gold champions have also had changes, and now their name appears in the ranking and not above it, as was done in the past. It is worth mentioning that several different bouts have been ordered to advance to a single champion, and also fighters who have belts in several weight classes have been asked to choose the one they want to keep and defend. The committee have also ordered a box-off tournament between several welterweight-rated boxers in order to determine the champion. This movement also guarantees spectacle to the fans. 5 categories with only 1 champion. After implementing the title reduction measure, the WBA has 5 single champions: Artem Talkin in the flyweight division, Naya Inoue in the bantamweight, Roger Gutierrez in the super featherweight, Jermell Charlo in the super welterweight, and Dimitri Bivol in the light heavyweight. The committee continues working hard and issuing resolutions, ordering fights, and making decisions to contribute to the demands of the fans and the press. In the beginning, it has been great advance, and the goal is to continue on this path. Finally, as I tend to conclude with press conference quotes, let's chit-chat for one brief second about Liam Smith, who's going toe-to-toe against Anthony Fowler. This event will take place at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool coming up on Saturday. Liam Smith and Anthony Fowler both made their intentions perfectly clear as they went head-to-head at their final press conference. A huge Liverpool derby takes place as former world champion Smith, 29-3-1, 16 knockouts, faces Fowler, who's now 15-1 with 12 knockouts, live on DAZN. Elsewhere on the card, Troy Williamson, who's 16-1 with 12 knockouts, challenges Ted Cheeseman, 17-2-1 with 10 knockouts for the British super welterweight title. And Kieran Conway, who's 16-2-1 with 3 knockouts, clashes with JJ Metcalf, who's 21-1 with 13 knockouts Okay. The final press conference took place on Thursday, and here we go. Smith said, "I feel good. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I had a long time out and got the cobwebs off in Russia, and now you'll see a much better Liam Smith at this time." He talks about desire. "I've lived in a house with three brothers where boxing is our life. It's a step too far for him. He can spar as much as he wants. Shane can help as much as he wants. It's only me and Anthony in there. I've got things in my own career that I want to keep. I've never lost to a domestic fighter. I intend on keeping that. I've never lost to a Scouse Derby as a family, and I intend on keeping that too. I've got my own aspirations of becoming world champion again, so I've got plenty at stake." Whereas Fowler said, "I'm grateful for the opportunity. I've taken this fight as I believe I can win it. I've had the best camp of my life. I'm the best I can be. I have no injuries. I'm at my physical peak. I'm coming off 4 straight knockout wins, and I've been very active. He's been world champion and been on top, but I've been visualizing this for weeks. Liam has had 1 fight in 2 years. That will play a part, and the timing is just right for me." Well, fans, there you go. All the news fit to print and all the headlines. I agree. I'm not a fan of the Bridgerweight, but they've enabled it. Their decision. They've got fighters in that category. But anyway, I'm agreeing with the comments. I'm not a fan of the Bridgerweight either. All right, fans. That's it for me for today. That's all the headlines courtesy of our friends over at Boxing 247. Christian and I just had a great conversation about the upcoming Fury Wilder fight on Saturday, which clashes with a few other fights that are going on this Saturday as well, as we've just found out, and which we've mentioned throughout this past week. But as I said, I'll be in Niagara Falls, Canada, watching the Fury Wilder fight this Saturday night. Hope you guys have a great weekend as well. But I will be back tomorrow, Friday, for all the news and headlines fit to print. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.